Let's talk tiny homes.
Tiny, real little.
Tiny. Tiny homes.
I know everything there is to know about
I
tiny
wanna.
homes.
Can I share some stuff with you just to try to seek more understanding from you? I wanna reveal, self reveal. I
Yeah,
have a
sure.
burning desire. Okay, tiny homes, and now they're not even going to be tiny homes. They're basically going to be like vendor cart beds.
That's what
You
they
know what?
should be. Vendor
Okay,
carts.
they're going to be vendor cart beds. So
Right.
they're going to be 4 feet high, so people can literally only sit up, lie down, sit up, and then that way, if the city comes, it's like, oh, it's my vendor cart, and then they store their stuff on top. So if they can't fit it on top, and if they're like, what's the bottom for them? They say, oh, it's just to store my bedding so that it stays clean. You
Right.
know, and if they're like, oh, you can't have a bed outside, if they start saying stuff like that, then we'll just say like, no, it's not a bed, it's just a vendor cart.
Right.
Because basically the city has made, yeah, no bed, vendor cart. Look, Bob's here. He goes, no bed, vendor cart.
Yeah.
So I posted a GoFundMe, and I would appreciate it if you would post the GoFundMe in the comments. I've never asked for any money. You know that people try to
I.
give me stuff all the
I.
time at the beach. I won't take it. I still will not touch money at the beach. I will not. I give freely.
But I think
Gary, how
it's
many times have
necessary.
I? No. But I did post a GoFundMe. So if people want to donate specifically to tiny homes, it goes through Rachel, who handles the charity, and they're going to be vendor carts, so not tiny homes, vendor carts. And my
Okay. Well, what I want you to do
I
though is
want to
build
share.
them elsewhere. Don't build them on the
Stop it!
beach.
I want to self-reveal more. I want you to understand me so you don't say
I don't
ridiculous
want
stuff
you to
like that.
have
I
the
will
police
never
break
leave
them
the
up.
beach. I will never leave the beach.
Oh, I have a question for you.
I will stay. I will
No, but
stay
we'll
at the
stay on the vendor
beach.
carts.
What?
Some people want to know a lot more questions answered.
I want to give a dialogue and I want to be uninterrupted.
Okay.
And then when I'm finished, you can ask as many questions as you want.
Okay, but you have to.
But I have a burning desire. I know that people don't see me right now. I want to be seen, so I want to reveal, and this is the space I'm asking for. So,
Right.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. City been bulldozing my gardens. And I'm like, hey, you guys, can we please play nice? And the city keeps throwing away my stuff. And also my friends' stuff. And I see how dirty they are. And they don't have dignity either. So, what I want is I want to bridge the gap. I don't want city workers to be at homeless, and I don't want the housed to be at the city workers, and I don't want the city workers to be at the homeless, and I don't want anyone to be at anyone. I am building vendor carts. We're gonna call them like vendor carts, right? Multi-use. So my GoFundMe says multi-use vendor carts, and the multi-use vendor carts, here's what they're for. They're to meet needs so that the city workers no longer have to deal with all kinds of crap. And what I mean is, like, they show up to do their job and it is a mess. Boy, is it a mess. Why? Because no one is encased in anything. Everyone is just out in the open. So is it better to just have people out in the open, or is it better to have people encased? So I say, if we give people these tiny homes, they enter a fellowship. And the fellowship is they learn about compost, and either someone's helping them with it or they're doing it themselves. And if I'm working with Spy Garden at the fire station, and the captain of the LAFD, he freaking loves me. Like, there's a new fireman, Dylan. He's like, go meet Dylan, go meet. He makes sure I know every fireman. He had me wait 10 minutes while this Dylan guy climbed off this building on a drill. And I'm known and respected at that garden and with the fire department. Also the garden at the Venice High School. And the idea of compost is very real. So I know everyone's like compost. So just let me finish and then you can ask as many questions. So the idea of compost is very, very, very real. The next thing I want to talk about, we're meeting needs for sanitation workers because sanitation workers have to deal with a lot of extra stuff like violence, being put down, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse. Like their jobs are so much harder because these people don't have dignity, because they don't have a place to perform. Everyone deserves to have a little cove to go in, to just have a bed. I'm not even asking for like a tiny home at this point. I'm asking for a vendor cart so trinkets and treasures can fit. And I'm sorry if you can't pile it onto your vendor cart and if it looks like crap because you look like one of those like beetles carrying a piece of shit that's way too big for you. Like then I will be one of the compassionate enforcers that deals with that kind of stuff. Like let people like, you know who the enforcers are in Venice, right?
A few.
Yeah. You know what? I say we get the sanitation workers out. I walked up to F. He told me get out of here. But he's one of the enforcers. Boston, Don,
There's a whole block of
OG. I mean, up and down the boardwalk. Every single block you have enforcers, and these are the elders. Many of them will not touch, use violence ever. They know better. They're sages.
Oh, I know the ones that enforce the violence.
Oh, some of them will thump you. We know exactly who they are too, and they're well respected too. But I'm one of the ones who prefers nonviolence. But I understand and respect the ones who do violence because they have, we all have a place. I just want the most amount of love and the least amount of force. But I agree there needs to be force sometimes. I just want that force to be linked to our love. So if you're using massive force, just use a lot of love. Use more force than love. That's all I want. Go violence with love. Absolutely, there is a loving force. And I'm not saying the protective use of force. Fuck you. No. Love everyone. You're protecting, if you're loving, you're encompassing protection. Just love. Be a mother. You want to know why I went to Venice? People always tell me, go see my kids, go do... You could tell them I go see my kids every week if I can.
Guess where we're going today?
We'll tell them later, but I go to see my kids all the time, as much as I can. I love my kids. I go to the beach because I can't mother my kids. I go to mother the beach. You're so lovable. And you are here to do amazing, positive change. You have incredible gifts and talents.
Well, you're missing.
Every 7 years, you will have a new body. These cells in your body will disintegrate. They will go away, and you will have new ones.
So I have to start.
Replace them.
When will the 7 years come about?
Oh, it's already happening. The cells are always dying
am I
and
on
replacing.
5 already, or am I?
So we're always replacing, replenishing. So we want to be gradually more loving and healing, and we will bio upgrade our body in that way. So just roll your eyes back while you drive and watch the road. And affirm with great knowing, as you neuro-linguistically program, affirm with great knowing that you are upgrading your DNA. And I want you to visualize in your head the double helix relaxing. Like you could literally see it relaxing and opening up.
Relaxed.
And I want you to feel your DNA upgrade as non-enhancing receptors take quantum leaps and disappear, and new, restoring, renewing versions of you begin to emerge. And this is the DNA upgrade that is happening all the time. It takes about every 7 years for all of the cells in your body to die and then regenerate, but it's happening all the time. If everything died all at once, then what would your soul live in, right? So the cells are gradually dying, obviously. Also, did you know every one of the cells in your body carries an electrical charge and is a battery, just like you? The center is a negative charge, the outside is a positive charge. The top of your head is a positive charge, the tip of your spine is a negative charge. So you're a battery. Every cell in your body is a battery. Every cell in your body carries a charge, 0.0 volts of electricity. times 55 trillion cells in your body, that's 3.4 trillion volts of electricity. So you are a magnetized, electrifying being, a battery. And your pituitary gland is connected to your spinal column. And if you breathe in such a way that is so intentional that you can expand your lungs all the way to have these deep, supercharged breaths where then your diaphragm becomes like a suction cup, drawing your lungs up and down, and then you pull charged solution, protein, salts in solution, that's your spinal fluid, carries a charge, positive or negative. You pull it up your spine, and then that creates an inductance field that hits your pituitary gland, and you can awaken just like Jesus did. Jesus got hung up because he told everyone he was the Son of God.
Literally.
If he had told everyone we're all God, we're all superheroes, we can all find this awakened state. We are sentient beings. We have a biology to be loving and kind and collaborative. Domination systems have taken over. This isn't
I
our
could
way.
jump into the carpool lane. I forgot.
That's right.
Illegally, but I will do it.
So
Hopefully
Pablo
there's no
says
police.
the same crazy lady monologue she always does, just a lower volume. Oh, Pablo. I wonder if you are feeling bewildered. And
Me?
no, Pablo
Oh.
said, because he says crazy lady dialogue. So underneath every judgment and label is a feeling and a need. So I wonder, Pablo, do you feel bewildered and curious because you're needing more understanding and more clarity?
That's good that it's live. They could ask questions
Yeah.
and you can answer them. Because I'm not supposed to be interrupting.
Zena Marie says Pablo needs a hug. Zena Marie, that's one of the most wise, glorious, gorgeous things ever. I got like a shiver up my spine. I'm melting, and I feel your warmth and radiance. I love you. You're so loving. So, Nostalgic says, how come Perfect Prince is not driving? Is he okay? So, I love my Perfect Prince, and I released him to my he hive. I am not wired for monogamy, and my Perfect Prince is struggling with alcoholism. I'm just gonna leave it in that little broad area. And I'm 5.5 years California sober. I only smoke the marijuana, and I do not drink. I used to drink, do cocaine, and smoke cigarettes, and I'm 5.5 years sober from, I don't touch anything, not even mushroom, just only marijuana. And less, because marijuana is like a tool. Like if you have cancer or a lot of pain, and I have parental alienation, let me tell you, anyone with kids, it's even more painful than you probably imagine. It's the most immensely painful thing in the world. And now my kids, when I go see them, they ask me to leave. There's enemy imaging, and my family doesn't understand me. They're Trump supporters, so you can imagine the different world. I'm not like Republican or Democrat, but my mom does have a picture of Donald Trump on her wall.
Oh.
They love Jesus, and they're very Christian, and my religion is love. My religion is that everyone is God. My religion is that everyone is the exact same spirit as me, because we're just an entangled energy, and there's no separation between me and you and the light that separates everything in this universe. So I just acknowledge everyone as divine, and I'm just curious, what's it like in that body? Zena says, been through it with the daughter. We live in trauma from the heartache. I hear you, Zena Marie. Your suffering matters, and when you're going through it with your daughter, and when you're living in trauma and heartache, I wonder if you feel heavy. I wonder if you feel overwhelmed. I wonder if you feel burdened and sad. Jack says, I love Trump. I love Trump too. I do. I honestly do love Trump. Number one, he's a genius. He's really hilarious. He's traumatized just like all of us, but he has no shame. He loves himself. So why wouldn't we love him? Also Biden, I love him too. You know, Republican, Democrat, skamala, skipada, skupada. I used to be a skamana, and now I'm a blue, and now I'm a subutsu. These are the parties of the doo. So I'm gonna vote for the I'm gonna vote.
Wait, we all know you're not registered to vote.
I'm talking about the air hug party.
Oh, I was joking.
First of all, vote is a 4-letter word. I would rather collaborate. It's much more. I would rather participate. I would rather empower. I would rather be part of. I would rather be synergetic. You want to know what living synergetically means? It means that my way of living benefits everyone else. I want my way of living to benefit everyone else. I'm building my tiny home. Sergeant McAdams is watching me on the big eye. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? The cameras. And she and I love each other because I watch her on the big eye, which means I astral project to her and Care Bear stare her and engulf her in love. She's always in a golden bubble of love created by moi. And I'm softening her because inside Sergeant McAdams is nothing but mush. So we need funding for tiny homes. We're going to build a whole bunch of them, but we're going to call them vendor carts. This is because
you have to eliminate tiny homes from your vocabulary.
Yes, no, they're multi-use vendor carts, and no one's going to get a vendor cart without a coach. Everyone's going to have a coach that makes sure that their compost thing gets emptied, that makes sure that they have clean water, that makes sure that they have clean clothes. Instead of these sanitation workers coming, we're going to make sure that they're doing a meaning and purpose, which means they can do puppet shows. We'll help them get set up with live stream cameras, and then that we can have a live stream show where everyone can like just post, puppet shows or whatever they're doing. This one girl wants to paint. She could live stream painting. That's art therapy. A lot of people love that. And I'm just throwing ideas out there. The needs I'm trying to meet are simply meaning and purpose, because people. So I narrowed that. We have our celebrations, which is our highs, and that's where one of the areas we receive. We want to be grateful for the needs that are being met. So when we share our celebrations, we're reminding people, this is what I want you to give me. This is what I like. And then the second area I identified where we like to receive is our struggles. So we got our celebrations where we're like, gimme, I like that. And then we got our struggles where we got to go a layer underneath, because underneath what's wrong is what I want, our desires. So it's our unmet needs, and that's where we're like, gimme. And then we want people to know that, just even if it's just to affirm and for them to say, hey, you make sense to me. Of course you're feeling frustrated that this need is going unmet. I could see how important this need is to you. I'm here to support you. I will visualize and affirm your needs being well met in the near future. We can support each other. So when we share our struggles, those are our needs that we want to receive too. So those are 2 areas we receive. So we're not just supposed to receive in this world, we're supposed to give back too. Don't be such a gimme, my sweet. You're so cute and sweet, but you also have to give back. So, to give back, we want to know our meaning and purpose. We want to know our gifts and our talents. We don't want to be workers. Being a worker's boring. Being a worker, we're unconscious because we're listening to an authority outside of ourselves. So if we identify our gifts and talents, we also must identify our willingness and capacity and not give outside of that, because then we're also doing coercive giving. Everyone pays for anything that's created from these energies. We all pay. So perhaps the world is super violent because right now living in a world that emerges in scarcity, because in order for us to be like have to mobilize, our needs are withheld. So if the world emerges in scarcity, then it operates in separation. So everyone's got to mobilize, and all the kids get separated in their age groups, and the old people are here. Used to be the kids and the old people are together, but now they're all separated. And then adults are all separate, and everyone's got to prove their worth, right? Kids got to prove their worth with their grades. Even kids in daycare now, you take their stress levels, no difference than the ones in orphanage. So a world that emerges in scarcity operates in separation. What results is powerlessness. And we don't want people to be in touch with their feelings and needs in this world. So if we want to get our power, no, not in domination systems, because you want good workers who care about the king and their needs don't matter, and you want dedicated women who take care of their family and put the family's needs first. But we're actually not wired for that. We're wired like we're to be synergetic, which means my way of being, just making sure that I'm thriving, helps everyone else thrive. The whole will thrive. And I don't have to always be hyper alert and hyper attuned to something outside of me as to what I'm supposed to do, that I'm meant to look within. And these intrinsic motivations come from the higher self. And right now we're not even looking inside. We're not listening to the higher self. We got Christians on here talking, people who like Trump usually like. Mo Ann says babble. Babble, 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 babble. Like that? Is that what you want me to do? Or, so if you just say one word, it could have all different meanings. So she could be saying, babble, which means I would be like, babble, babble, babble. Or she could be saying, babble. Or she could be saying, babble.
Look at your comments. Are they asking you questions still?
It takes a strong person to not let outside forces affect you. Well, outer stimulus does affect us, and then we can decide if we want. Oh, here we go. Moan's giving me more. She says you just babble and it makes no sense. Thank you, man. You're right. I do kind of babble. I do.
Who would know that?
I do. And you want to know something, Moan? I agree with you. Less is more. I agree. Moan's wise. If we use less words, it's better. Do you know that the Navajo use like one word and it will carry like so much meaning, thousands of other words with just one word? I like Moan. Roger wants to know the Forrest says rambling is a sin. That's funny. The latest on Prince. Princey Pooh is not able to be friends right now. He's very angry. He's been angry for a long time, like days, since the last time I talked to him. And we had our marriage dissolved, annulled.
You and Prince?
Yes. We went and got
legally.
Yep.
Where'd you go to get it done?
In Santa Monica, August 10th, we will be legally annulled. So.
Okay, a lot of people wanted to know that.
So, which means that we will have been married for like just over a year when it gets annulled, because it takes 6 months. Prince and I like had this beautiful whirlwind romance, but I am just so much happier with my kings, and I want Prince to be a part of my he hive, but he is wired for something different, and I totally respect that. He wants monogamy, and I was not able to give that to him. And I mean,
why is that?
When I first met him, he was 7% body fat. We were working out together all day. He was really into I have a really healthy lifestyle. And he fell off the wagon, dude. you know? He stopped working out, started drinking, started being really unhealthy, and stopped wanting to hang
He
out
always
with,
seems sober.
stopped wanting to hang out with other people, stopped wanting to socialize, and
He didn't want to share you.
so I was still kind of, you know, like going to my fellowships, but it was starting to impact me, where like, because I would have plans with him to do something, and then he wouldn't want to work out, so then I didn't work out. Or we were supposed to go to yoga, and then he doesn't want to drive me because we got in a fight. Or it got to the point where, so Prince's family does punishment and reward. That's what rich people do. They reward you with money. If you're doing stuff they like, then they give you money. Prince's mother told him that if he got divorced from me, if he annulled the marriage, she would basically take care of all his worries, take care of his dog. And then when he said he didn't want to divorce me, she said that she's not going to take care of his dog. She's not going to help him financially. She's not. His $3.7 million trust fund, he ran out of the last of it like 3 months after I met him. And he turned 40 within those 3 months too. So, and a bunch of his money is tied up in a business, which is actually like worth a lot of money. So he's doing okay, but right now he's feeling the pinch because he doesn't have any trust fund or anything. So he's really leaning on his parents. And this is really traumatizing. Like, people don't realize that people of privilege are a lot more traumatized than people who are in poverty, even though it's different trauma, because in order to brutalize people in poverty, and then you have to like brutalize each other. So that's how it works. And there's a big disconnect because people with money usually send their kids away. Prince was sent to boarding school. I was sent away when I was little. My brother and sister got sent to boarding school. My mom got sent to boarding school. White people just send their kids away. At least in my family, it's a very high percentage of kids that get sent away. And I was 5 years old when I got sent away. And thousands of miles away, by the way, like in a different country far away. So when kids get sent away, that's traumatizing. And then these conquerors and colonizers go to other parts of the world. And I'm talking about my ancestors. We get to the Americas, and what do you think we do to the natives? We send all their kids away and separate them all from their kids. To us, it's not a big deal, because now we're just traumatizing them and making them just like us. Now they're going to be filled with shame. They're going to be filled with fear. They're going to be disconnected from their body. They're going to be disconnected from their community. They're not going to know about fellowship or interdependence. They're going to know about codependence now.
Talk to the people on the live stream.
Okay. Angel, send them hugs and love only. Give them nothing else. Do you know who Marie is? See, you get a lot more people when you come on live stream. I made you a gift. How can I get it to you? Hey, you guys. Who's my favorite singer? You guys are my favorite singer.
Wait, how did who said give me
And
a gift?
Elise, Allison, come to the beach. I'm attracting my girl
There we
squad.
go.
I'm in Venice.
Or you can find me,
So
and I'll give it to you.
come to the beach. We're going to live at the beach, and we're going to bulldoze all of the houses and all the buildings. We're going to bulldoze everything in Venice. And we're going to start new. We're going to create a high-tech heaven on earth. We're going to dig the rivers that have been cemented. We're going to free them. We're going to create a soil filtrated water source, and then another, and then another, and then another. And then we'll have different speeds of these water sources. And every water source will be soil filtrated, mineral, nutrient filled. And you could go in rushing rivers or slow rivers. You could go in hot springs. You could go in lagoons. You could go in waterfalls. It is okay. The humans are like, no, don't clean the water or free the rivers. She's crazy talking about free river. Humans, be a superhero.
Okay, we're visiting.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Yeah, but where do I go? I forgot.
Oh,
Beach
well,
Boulevard?
yeah. So The reason why the vendor carts are important is if we make gardens and dig rivers and create new ways, like the new ways to live, like compost. There's a biodiversified food forest that you can go to today from 12 and 3 at the Venice High School. It's so wonderful. You could get food at the high school. You can also go to the fire station anytime you want, every day, because there's no fence around that garden. What if all of Venice was a biodiversified food forest and we don't have to be like, the animals will dig up our food, because there's just so much. Could you imagine if there was giraffes everywhere? And then there's like pooper scoopers. So like if a giraffe takes a dump, like you could pick it up, but if you don't want to, you don't have to, because there's a pooper scooper and a compost bin, and anyone can pick up the animal poop. And there's people who love pooper scooping, and they will poop a scoop. And people who have a disgust circuit that gets hyper triggered, and a nose circuit that gets disgusted with their disgust circuit. But why are we scared about having animals and plants and gardens? I agree, tiny home vendor carts is not a good idea. But right now,
who said that?
No, I'm saying in the long term. Right now, it's a very good idea. Right now, it's a genius idea. But that's because that's all we can do. Think about it. The Navajo and the Native Americans had teepees, and I thought about it like teepees, and it's just too much stuff. Who wants to do teepee setup, right? That's why I was, and plus, no, teepees, you build them. So I was just like,
mobile.
It's just so much easier to do these vendor carts. Trust, I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah,
because
people they're not mobile.
Yeah, they're not mobile. So these mini vendor carts give people dignity, and these are the people who are going to garden and dig rivers and help with the Great Awakening. And this is not about going back to what we were. Like, we don't want to be Native Americans and be like, oh, like doing like herbal medicine. And no, we want to be fifth dimensional higher beings, blast past human beings. And I call this being superhero, but you could call it whatever you want. In just acknowledging our gifts and talents and meaning and purpose, I believe we'll grow 20%. That our spine will decompress, our shoulders will come down and be proud, our tushies will flare out, our pelvic bone structure will deconstruct and reconstruct to create more space after all of the stagnant energies are released from being suppressed and not knowing how to self-actualize. So vendor carts give people dignity. It also gives them like a sense of like trust, because sleep through the night, they can just like trust that. When people can't trust that they can sleep through the night, they can't relax the entire day. Okay, no bed at a multi-use vendor cart.
There you go.
Multi-use vendor cart. So.
Okay, Beach Boulevard.
Huh?
Beach Boulevard.
All right. Anyways, I really wanted to share more about my vendor carts. My gardens will not get bulldozed if my friends are there united taking care of the garden.
Tell them the location.
Oh, guess what? I have an apartment. I have an apartment on the boardwalk with a bathtub, and my friend says I can have the bedroom and put 3 bunk beds. So I'm gonna get 5 goddesses who want to join my temple at the beach. So we'll live at the beach, and we'll have a place we can go in and out of to take baths and showers. And if we want to sleep indoors, we can. But we'll have our vendor carts and we can set up on the boardwalk. So I'm looking for yogis and healers, and there's no rent here. We get to live there for free. Not, nothing's free. We join in interdependence, and you join our tribe. So the multi-use vendor carts, we're going to have 6 of them for the goddesses who are living at the beachfront apartment so that they can go in and outside. And then our tribe will expand, like more people will come. And this is so we can free the LA Zoo animals. And then we'll have, that bears and otters used to play on the beach? Giraffes do really, really well in California. We can have giraffes and elephants. Hey, you guys. Daisy, you can't move it. It's physically impossible. Daisy replies, we're superheroes.
Can't move what?
I don't know.
Oh.
She cracks me up. I love her vibe. The stuff she says is so good. If you haven't watched the video of her in her tiny home, it's awesome. The cop goes, oh, I can't read the rest. But oh my God, I love when they chased me.
Hey, you gotta put this on. You gotta take a picture of.
Oh, I like this one. Why does your nose look like that? Huh?
You gotta take a picture.
Take a
Can
picture?
you take a picture while you're doing that?
Of what? Take a
Of
picture?
the license plate.
Why?
'Cause
Okay.
It's 007.
Oh.
Come on. Do
Okay.
it, please. Zoom in.
All right, I'll zoom in. And
I always take pictures of 007
okay.
if I see him in front of me.
Zoom in. All right, there we go.
Thank you. Oh, it's so blurry because your fingerprints went on the camera, probably.
Oh, yes.
Can you clean out the plant camera? Here.
There we go.
Okay. I think you might have got it.
Okay, I want to respond to Abigail. Abigail, when we ask why questions, then what happens is people can answer it any possible way. Number one, a why question is not a specific question. Number two, Abigail, if you ask a question, first check in with your intention. Is your intention to connect or disconnect? And number three, if you ask someone a question about their body, then I strongly suggest that you ask them their consent first. And Abigail, I don't give you my consent to talk about my body or my nose. Unless you're going to say something loving and nice, I don't give you my consent.
About your body and your nose.
She said, why? She said, why is your nose like that? So Abigail, would I do consent?
Oh my God.
Well, no, I'm showing Abigail because Abigail gets mistreated, or she wouldn't be doing this.
Oh.
People mistreat Abigail. They talk about her body and put her down and try to make her feel shame. Because I'm filled with love. You know, like an orange, if you squeeze an orange, Abigail, orange juice comes out. If you squeeze me, love juice comes out. If I squeeze Abigail, I might get some anger, some volatility, some hurt, some pain, some mistreatment that's been done to her projected. So Abigail, why is a disconnecting question and talking about someone's body is a violation? I don't give you my consent, goddess. And if it were a guy talking,
I love the way you drive because it's stupid the way.
If it were a guy talking about my body, I would say the exact same thing. Abigail, you are way too loving and lovable to ever receive or give any type of treatment that's not sweet and kind. And guess what? It's not truth. It's trauma if it's not said with love and kindness. Okay? I celebrate you, Abigail. I'll give you a kiss and a hug and a boop, a boop. Abigail, you're so lovable. You're so lovable. And your nose is so beautiful. Abigail, you're so beautiful inside and out.
Don't go up your nose with your camera.
Abigail, this booger's for you. Okay, you want one too? Gary, here. I got one for you. That was a booger joke. I hope you guys like toilet humor. I gotta go. Have a good one, you guys. Love you. Love you, Abigail. Come see me at the beach.